What is it like to be completely debt-free? I experienced it once, and in this video, I'm going to tell you what happened after. That's right, no mortgage, no car payment, no loans at all. Financially, I was in the best shape of my adult life. And then transportation and karma took it away. So keep watching. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. When I downsized back into my condo, I paid off a 2008 Nissan Maxima. I had left my high-paying plant manager job to pursue my own business as a Legal Shield associate. In hindsight, huge, huge mistake. In my defense, I was living with terrible knee pain and needed both knees replaced. My job required me to walk about 10,000 steps a day on a concrete floor in a very, very large plant. I'd like to say my judgment was clouded by that. Combined with changes in management, I became extremely unhappy and just up and quit. So the upside was no mortgage, no equity loan, no car payment. I was living exactly how retirement or self-employment is supposed to feel, simple and manageable. The downside was that I used what small 401k I had, plus the profit from selling my house to pay off the mortgage on the condo that I moved back into. I referred to my condo as my fortress of solitude. But then something happened that a lot of retirees deal with. I started worrying. My worry was about my car. It was old and had a lot of miles. I just knew maintenance expenses were coming. I had already bought new tires, which was $1,000. I had to put that on a credit card because I was scraping by. Nothing was actually wrong with the car, but I kept thinking, what if the transmission goes? What if something major breaks? What if I get hit with a big repair bill? So instead of waiting for a problem, I traded it in and bought a 1-year-old Nissan Pathfinder. And just like that, car payment was back. And I paid that car payment faithfully, never missing a single payment. So what happened next? I accrued more debt. The AC and heating unit in my condo had to be replaced. I added more credit card debt. And another costly business attempt racked up even more debt. The end result was car loans and credit card debt totaling around $30,000. I'll make another video about that later, because this video is about transportation. Eventually, an equity loan was used to clear the credit cards and car loan. Basically, debt consolidation. Time passed, and that brings me back to transportation. I heard advice that retirees should consider not owning a car at all. And honestly, that made sense to me. So I tried it. I sold the Pathfinder to CarMax, put the money towards the equity loan, and CarMax was unbelievably easy. I drove in, got an offer, and walked out with a check. Then I called my first Uber to take me home. After that, I used Uber for everything. And honestly, it worked. Groceries I had delivered, any appointments I had to go to, like doctor, dentist, whatever, I took the Uber. Any errands, although I didn't really do Uber much for that, or if at all ever, they were all manageable. Costs stayed low as long as the trips were close. But two things made it harder. First, I walk a lot, and my area isn't always the safest place to walk. Not safe from a crime standpoint, but safe from a traffic standpoint. I actually almost got hit once just outside of my condo. And second, life changed. My daughter went through a divorce, and suddenly I needed to help with grandkid transportation. And you really can't do that obviously without a car. So I bought a used Acura with extremely low miles. Seemed like the smart move. Reliable brand, low mileage, good condition. But then I learned another lesson. Because I had canceled my insurance while I didn't have a car, when I started coverage again, insurance companies treated me like I'd been an uninsured driver. They actually told me that. I had Allstate for years. I mean, many years. And I couldn't believe it. Even though I wasn't driving at all, they treated me like I'd been uninsured. My agent said there was nothing he could do, and other companies told me the same thing. So I switched to Progressive out of frustration because I was mad at Allstate, and I'll never use Allstate again. My insurance jumped from about $120 a month to over $200 a month, just barely over. And that surprised me. I wasn't expecting that. Then the next shoe dropped. 3 months into owning the Acura, the transmission had to be replaced. Luckily, there was a warranty that covered it. But then came a $400 battery. Acuras aren't cheap. And then routine maintenance was coming due. Timing belt, valve adjustments, oil pump leak, all about $4,000 worth of work. This really threw me because in all my years, I'd never had to replace a timing belt. I thought cars had timing chains. But this was routine maintenance, not even a breakdown, and it was expensive. And that's when I realized something important. In retirement, surprise expenses hit differently. When you're working, you can absorb them. In retirement, they mess with your peace of mind. And I realized I didn't want surprise car expenses anymore. So instead, I leased a new Honda. I didn't have the work done. I traded it in. 3 years lease, 10,000 miles per year. So I just am finishing 1 year just right now. And I'm under on the mileage. I haven't spent 1 cent on maintenance. No repairs, no surprise bills, just predictable costs. And I'm under on the mileage, as I said. And in retirement, predictability has value. Now, leasing isn't perfect, and it isn't always cheaper. But for where I am right now, it fits my life better. And in 2 years, when the lease ends, I'll have to decide again, do I keep a car or go back to no car? But here's what I've learned. Transportation in retirement isn't just about money. It's about flexibility, safety, and peace of mind. So I'm curious, how are you handling transportation in retirement? And what surprised you the most? If this kind of honest look helps you, you're in the right place. And if you'd like to quietly support the channel, you can do that through Buy Me a Coffee or by using the join button here on YouTube to become a Coffee Club member. Thank you for watching, and please check out my other videos. And truly, thank you. I really appreciate all of you being here.